Looks like we've got a pent-up question on the link building exercise. Right.
Sometimes I get weird stuff.
Right. Sure. Well, you can't control who links to you, right? That's why Google usually doesn't penalize you for inbound links, because you can't control who links to you. So usually, the more links, the merrier. So you don't care if Al Green for Congress links to you. I don't know why Al Green for Congress links to you, but usually, as long as it was a link from a site that had a good page rank, I'd be like, sure, what the heck. An interesting thing I forgot to mention on the asking your suppliers to link to you. When you do that, you can even offer them a testimonial, right? So you can make it a win-win scenario. So it's not that you're just blatantly asking for the link. You can say, on one of your marketing pages, you can put a little blurb off to the side that says, Jim Smith from Acme Industries says, these were the best widgets I've bought all year, whatever it is. So you write a little, testimonial, and then they can use it to enhance their marketing. But then, down there at the bottom, there's that link. So you get the power of the link, they get the power of the testimonial, and it's sort of a quid pro quo. It's an interesting way of doing it. Also, sometimes you have resellers, VARs, or distributors that you can ask for link requests. There are industry trade publications that you can either write for and get link requests out of your bio. If you are a regional business, sometimes what you can do is you can actually get a link from a competitor of yours that doesn't compete with you because they're in a different geography. So that would essentially be from within one of your communities. So you'd essentially get a great community link, but from somebody who you're never going to steal their customer and they're never going to steal your customer, but you're sort of in the same business. So sometimes you can do a reciprocal link with that, link request with that. The challenge with reciprocal links is that they have to be policed, right? And there are actually some services out there that police reciprocal links, because what was happening with reciprocal links is, I'd be on the phone with you, I'd say, I'll give you a reciprocal link, and we'd both find pages that were about the same page rank on our site, and we'd agree to put the links there, and then like a month later I'd delete my link. And I give it to somebody else because I was just on the phone with them. And so, and you still gave me your link. So reciprocal link requests require a fair amount of either manual policing or automated policing. So I usually believe that the better your content is, the more likely you are to get sort of a true intrinsic link. So that's the best way to do it.
Would you recommend linking to vendors that have nothing to do with your space whatsoever? So if you deal with a trucking company and you do nothing with trucking with your line of business, I mean, that's quantity, but it's not quality. Does that help at all?
Everything helps if you can get the inbound link, right, from your trucking company that you use, or you can do link swaps like that. Links very rarely hurt. It's just that sometimes they help more than others. So it's just sort of figure out where your best return is going to be on prospecting for links. So consider starting a blog of your own, like an industry blog where you comment on your industry and you comment on what's going on, because the blogging community is actually much more willing to link than any other community. It's sort of the whole community is built on the concept of linking. If you're going to start a blog, though, somebody needs to really take responsibility for it. Somebody needs to post on it at least once a week to make it fresh, make it interesting. So the question is, how are you doing, right? It's how do you know how you're doing now? How do you know how much of an upside potential you have? Well, there's a command called cite, which will tell you how many pages each of the search engines know about. And I'd done one earlier. If you want to know how many pages about a specific concept or about a specific keyword a search engine knows about, you can do the cite command and then include another word after that. So then you can actually be even more narrowly focused in understanding that. So, yep.
A very basic question. How do I figure out how many pages my site has?
Somebody who built it should have a general idea. You know, as far as how many total pages are on your site. If it's a dynamically driven site, there's probably a record count in the database. If it's a static site, then you can count up the number of files in the directory. You know, there's usually a way to get to that. You know, somebody knows, maybe not you. So using the link command is another great way to look at who's already linking to you. And this isn't a comprehensive list, but it's a list of it's a list of the sites that have a reasonable page rank when you do it in Google, for example. So this is one case where the commands are slightly different in Google and Yahoo. So Google is link and Yahoo is link domain. The other thing that's really useful to know is the cache. When you do a search and you see a search result, you'll see these little links there that say cached. What that does is it actually shows you exactly what the search engine grabbed from your site. And it re-renders it in HTML, sometimes with broken images and such. But what's useful about that is it really shows you what the search engine has grabbed of your site or your competitor's site. When competitors use some really black hat techniques, such as frame sets and cloaking and stuff, you can often catch them using the cache command. So you know that's then you can report them and maybe get those pages kicked out. It's also really useful because you can, at the top of the cache, it usually tells you what the date was that page was last seen. So if you're sort of curious, when's the last time that this search engine went and saw my site? If you click on that cached version, at the top it usually says when the spider retrieved that page. So it gives you an idea of that as well. So organize your content, title, tag it appropriately, and then have a sitemap off of your home page to help the spiders find the content. The more content you have, the more likely you are to show up for stuff. The News tab has become really powerful from the perspective of a way to build links, a way to become findable for more diverse content, and a way to even use anchoring. Both PRWeb and PR Newswire being perhaps more well known, but PRWeb being maybe slightly more search engine SEO centric in their philosophies. Both of them allow hot links within their press releases. So sometimes those press releases go out and are picked up by people just used as is. So you end up getting those links straight out of your press releases. In other cases, just the fact that they stay archived on those sites and you get a link from those sites is useful. Now, the archived link from the PR website or the PR Newswire site tends to not have a lot of page rank or reputation value to it because it's you and 2.6 million of your other press releases that got released that year. So they're spreading that reputation that they have as a site pretty thin. So you don't really get a huge pop, but hey, it doesn't hurt. If you're going to go ahead and do press releases anyway, why not take the extra 5 minutes to add hot links to them? The other thing that happens to some brands is they end up with sucks pages. And the disgruntled customer or whatever decides to come up with a sucks page. So for PayPal, number one link is them. Number two link is PayPal sucks. So organic search can sometimes end up biting you in the ass because if somebody has a bad user experience, they can come back and haunt you. And what everybody loves bad news, or like this is the equivalent of the web traffic accident, right? So what happens is like 20 people tell each other that there's a PayPal sucks page, and then anybody else who thinks PayPal sucks links to it and says, yeah, I agree, PayPal sucks, and it creates that link power to bring the sucks page up pretty high. So similarly to PayPal, I think Broadvision has a problem. So how do you address this from an organic SEO perspective? Well, what you could do is if you could get a channel partner or somebody else who talks about you as a company to be number 2, then at least you could push the PayPal Sucks page a little bit further down the page. So sometimes you're not only doing SEO for yourself, right? You may even be doing, you may want to help a channel partner or a reseller or a retailer or a strategic partner to do SEO on your behalf because it'll just push that Sucks a little bit further down, that Sucks page.